rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty. It is now 8:11 and we are in our Activated Morning segment right here on WEFM with Roleza and Dianna. At this time, we will be conducting an interview with Mr. Sean Frederick and Mr. Jekyll Maz. This morning we will be doing an interview, and the interview is all about the 2024 National Performing Arts Festival. Mr. Maz, greetings.
I am almost tempted to say greetings in the wonderful name of Jah, but I would say I will settle for good morning, peace, love, and light to everyone, yourself and Roleza in studio. Hope everyone is having an activated morning.
Oh, look at you. You could join us and be
Yeah, just in case you guys have a vacancy, I could.
I love that.
we will most definitely keep that in mind. All right. How are you this morning?
I am grounded. I had a wonderful day yesterday, and my night was spent delving in further into the script. And the thing about theater and script that audience sometimes don't get to appreciate is that part of the work when you're delving into the work, and every time you read it, you're seeing something different, and every line has some layer to it that you know have to make a decision as to if it's an important thing that needs to be emphasized or if it's not. Yeah, so I'm grounded this morning.
I've never heard somebody answer, I'm grounded. I think I probably need to adopt that. Yeah.
Okay, so we are just waiting. I see Sean telling me he's in the room, but we're not seeing Sean. So I don't know which room him in. Must see in the bedroom and we in the kitchen.
Probably.
But let's see.
Okay, go ahead, Anna. Let me see if I can figure it out.
All right. So this morning we will be doing the interview with Mr. Sean Frederick. Now, I think Sean is a very well-known Vincentian. He's involved in many things. He plays on our male netball team. He is he participated in the recent competition where they placed third. But this morning he is not here as a netballer, right? He will be here as a cultural practitioner, a theater practitioner, but more importantly, the festival coordinator, the National Performing Arts Festival 2024 coordinator. Right? We're just trying to sort out how we could get Sean inside because we don't know where Sean is at the moment. So Sean is the coordinator of the festival, and Jekyll is Jekyll has many titles, but this morning he is using the title of director. He's under the title of director for the featured presentation in the National Performing Arts Festival, which I don't want to go into the details. I want to leave that up to you guys, but Jekyll, what you got to say to us in the meantime? While we wait on Sean, while we try to figure out is which one of the room Sean in.
I think in the interim, I'm just overall excited to be here. Two persons who I know very well, well, never not say very well, as in Dianna, you're an artist yourself, member of the cast of Dance Studio, and I had planned to throw you under the bus this morning and reason and see if you were able to respond to me. But in addition, Roleza, you may not know me, but I always give Dianna the joke that anybody would swear in Roleza because your profile is always to the top of my search bar, especially on a weekend because I would go there to check. I really even make a joke about you losing marks sometimes that it used to be on a Friday, then we moved to Saturday, and sometimes it's a Sunday. So that's exactly the joke. So I'm overall happy to be here. I have indeed tuned into some of your conversations. I always like to see what is being discussed on Activated Mornings and WFM. I think that you guys have my knowledge is correct, and correct me if I'm wrong. No offense to anybody at all. From my viewpoint, I think currently in radio, this program has what I would consider a representation of the youth, and its segments are normally very balanced between research and opinion, and I welcome that. So I normally would go to every media house station depending on what perspective of an issue I want to get. And WEFM and Activated Morning serve a particular purpose. I'm just happy to be here to come here to share space as the incoming generation of leaders in our own fields and rights, and how can we have conscious conversations and dialogue this morning, particularly about culture.
All right, lovely.
Lovely.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate hearing that. All right.
All right.
Sean, morning. You make it in, man. You knock the door.
Morning.
You just did so relaxed there, like I was here the whole time.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Give thanks. Good morning to you guys. Morning to listeners of WEFM.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go straight into the topic. Just to repeat, if you're now joining us, we are going to be conducting an interview with Mr. Sean Frederick and Mr. Jekyll Maz about the National Performing Arts Festival 2024. And Sean is the coordinator of the festival. Jekyll is directing the featured presentation in this year's festival. I don't want to give any of the details. I think we listeners, you heard us mention the festival before. We spoke about the casting call that was being made and still is out, as well as the events and the festival launched recently, which was carried by API. All right, so we'll see these lost Jekyll there for a minute, but that's okay. So Sean, good morning. Can you tell us what do we need to know about the National Performing Arts Festival 2024?
Well, I don't know what is your request, but I can give you as much information as possible, and that's my duty. The festival is in this current format has been going on for probably over 20 years. I would say almost 18 of it, the festival was supported and sponsored by previously and now the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Have been our partner for a very long time with, support obviously from the government, through the Department of Culture. And it's made up of, different entities based on how we sort of developed the structure or concept for that particular year. But no matter, however, we attempt to change concepts or ideas, etc., we still remain with our partners and those persons who are integral in ensuring the festival is successful. Obviously, we can't just put the festival on paper. We have to work with humans. We have to work with people. In this case, we're working with creatives, and we also have the inputs and ideas of the general public who share ideas based on their feedback from attending various productions. Just recently, I think it's in 2019 or so, we did a market research survey with the general public. We surveyed over 300 persons and got their feedback on the current state of the festival at the time. And trust me, that was really an eye-opener, and that's what sort of drives the changes you have seen since 2019. Of course, it was affected by COVID, but that didn't stop us. We did a virtual presentation, with a lot of virtual presentations, which was well received, especially by persons in the diaspora. And it showed, even that through that time, how theatre was used for that psychosocial support for a lot of persons who were affected by COVID and other things, being isolated and all of that. But the festival has been taking different shapes over the years.
All right, then. Thank you. Well said. So the festival was launched recently, the Bank of SVG being the partner for the festival for many years. As it relates to the casting call, how is it going? Do we have all the people that we need to have for all the events in the festival, or do we still, or are we still looking for persons for that?
Well, the rate we're going, we're looking for as many persons as possible. We can never fill all of the roles because as time go by, people have different challenges. They have to drop off for reasons beyond their control. And I'm not saying that's what we're experiencing, but we've also been using methods where we have persons who are understudies. And Jake will probably address that more. But what we're looking for as many persons, especially young persons, to come within the space so that they can be exposed to the training. They can see what's going on, understand the process. They don't necessarily have to be going on stage for that particular time, for this particular period. But what we'd like to have is a very high number of persons coming forward to experience what's going on, understanding the process. I'm not going to be around for, I don't know how much more time I have on earth. So if we have more persons studying and learning the various process of producing these productions, of coordinating and managing these productions, all these activities, even understanding how rehearsals, understanding how um, directing and other aspects of the creative and performing arts. That is what you're coming into, not necessarily, oh, I'm nervous, I've never acted before, or I don't have that experience. We don't care. We want you involved. Once you have the passion, once you are, what I may say, once you're motivated by whatever drives you, we need you in this space so that we can build a thriving industry.
All right. And Jekyll, I want you to, being a young person yourself, many persons might not. You're young, but you're all in your wisdom and your speech.
I share.
But I want you to speak to any young person who may be listening to encourage them. What encouragement would you give to them to come? Because we have this call that is out, and not just for this festival, but into the arts, being involved wholeheartedly in the creative arts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Well, for me, there, Diana, before I even go there in terms of the call for action, I would like to just start the conversation about my sort of my trajectory or introduction within the arts because I like to consider myself as if it's one child that is the product of these cultural festivals and school festivals, I would like to say so. I attended the Barley Anglican School. I'm from Barley. I lived in Barley. Although I still do live in Barley, though I am a bit nomadic right now. But what living in Barley, I was exposed to because I grew up in a small village called Reversion Barley, the interior of Barley. And I was exposed to a lot of traditions, some popular, some more sacred. And I think I took that for granted up until, I began formal studying. But nonetheless, I came through the primary school performing arts festival, went through a lot of the primary school oral speaking competitions, etc. Came to secondary school, the great Bishop's College Kingston, and continued theatre there in the secondary school drama festival. It was there that I met persons like Mr. Frederick and other persons, and then it didn't stop there. When I exited secondary school, I was a member of the community college performing arts society, and there I was able to get involved in the community festival. I still didn't end there from performing to more technical side of theater, stage management, etc. I was able to collaborate with Sean in my younger, much younger career. In terms of a bit more strategic plan where the festival is concerned. So for me, I witnessed firsthand the impact that theater and the arts could have. And to ascertain that, we have to look at the processes that are involved in theater in our art weekend. And Diana could tell you, Sean could tell you, we are in, before the script even gets to the cast members who you would see on stage, because this particular production, Dance Bongo, I've had Dance Bongo script working at it from since last year, October. That's even before cast was auditioned, etc. for roles. So I say all of that to say I've witnessed firsthand the the impacts or the things that I'm able to garner and to my acumen based on my involvement in the theater. As a call to action there, as a young person in the arts myself, there are many different avenues within the arts. There's not just you're not just limited to performing. There's also production, more administrative side of things. There, including myself, the artistic and creative side of things. There's need for technical expertise, stage management, lights, sound, costume, set, you know, a lot of those things in terms of a call to action for young persons within who are maybe desirous or interested within the arts. I would say go for it. There's nothing really and truly to lose. It is a space that I think is needed right now, particularly with so many things happen within our contemporary society that, and this buzzword right now, mental health. If at least from that angle, you use the theater space or the creative space as a space of release, as a space of healing and meeting new people, as a space of there's also notions of the culture and creative industries, which also speaks to the business side of things. So if you're entering it solely from that, then enter it from that angle and see how you're able to use the platform to navigate it from that angle as well. I hope I was able to provide some context and answer there.
Most certainly.
All right. I think I believe Sean might be able to answer this question best. In terms of youth engagement or youth involvement, do you tend to go to the schools to let them know what the creative arts, creative industry is all about? As some of the points that Jekyll brought out, in terms of letting it be an outlet for, well, as a hobby, or letting it be an outlet or a release for whatever it is that you may be going through within the day or within your life itself. The different industries or different sectors that persons can be involved with within the performing arts sector. Because I think sometimes that we look at it as just performances here in SVG, right? Or performances whenever there's a festival that is happening. But like in Jamaica and in Trinidad, persons know that they can actually make a living from being involved in the performing arts. Is that something that, from your standpoint, that is sort of reinforced to children that there is more to it than just performing with a festival that is just for a couple of weeks?
Well, yes, and to an extent, no. I'll give you the yes, as in that is what we would like to see happen. That is our aim. And when I say I'm saying our, because I'm talking about the Department of Culture from whom I represent. And since I came to the department, I've met different officers who had absolutely amazing relationship with the Ministry of Education and various schools through their principals or head teachers, as we used to call them. That relationship is no more. That relationship with the Ministry of Education has taken a serious hit because there's so much on the school's curriculum as is being promoted from the academics that it is sort of overshadowing these opportunities for people like me and Jekyll and the Department of Culture and other creatives, whether it be community or other institutions, etc., to come in the school to make a contribution, to expose the children, or to give them that platform. The school has amazing talent, no joke. If I go to the private school performing arts festival, when I assisted the coordinator, then Leslie and Millington, we thought it was necessary to sort of change the direction we were going with the festival from just going there and assess the presentation. We wanted to go there and do the workshops with the children. And when we were planning the grand days, it was done in somewhat in a space that they get to see the lights, they get to see the sound system, a much bigger stage, and to see all of the various elements that help these presentations as if they were doing it from a professional standpoint. So when they come to this, it's like, wow, it's properly decorated and all of that. So it was that there we wanted to give that exposure to them. And of course, the presentations, without any questions were amazing. Similarly, we have done school visits. We have made collaborations with a number. Just this morning, I was talking to a teacher with reference to a workshop that's coming up tomorrow. And the teachers are telling you what the challenges are. They have so much on their plate. It's a month of independence. They're having their own independence celebration. We're trying to get the children involved in a masterclass workshop with David Darkey Williams. And you see, the struggle continues where I think the arts is treated as you say, a hobby. It is not a hobby. It was never a hobby. And persons need to say, I think from an education policy standpoint, from a national standpoint, there ought to be something developed where we have ownership to this space as well as when I say space, working relations with the Ministry of Education, so we can have these sessions, whether it be through an hour during lunch period, a half an hour, or close to school. You often hear all of the parents and stuff allow the children to be thing, but when you look, sometimes you see children at different events, sometimes events children really should attend, you know. And you say, oh, my child have to get him at the start. You know, when you pass some of these bus stops, you see hundreds of children all up to 6, 7 o'clock waiting for bus. You know, and I'm not saying that is an excuse or I'm blaming the parents or I'm attacking the fact that you don't want this but you want that. I'm just saying we ought to have a conversation about how we can go into these institutions. And I think there is this secondary schools festival that has been also facing some challenges. And due to this, some of the reasons I've mentioned before, in the past, you could put your part at the fire and get about 50 presentations to the school. Now you're struggling to get one. And that's because since COVID, there has been a serious decline in these types of presentations from the school. The teachers are no longer there who are motivated. The principals, some of them, they're willing, but as we said, they're weak. And, it's a lot of, protocols and so on. You have to go through the Ministry of Education, the right, and the schools don't see a letter from the ministry or through the ministry. They ain't come in where some principals will say, this is what I want for my children. In a conversation with several principals last year, they said that that's the direction they're going in terms of forming clubs within the school. St. Martin's, New Adelphi, other schools, they formed Thomas Saunders Girls High School. Well, Girls High School has been around for some time, but quite a number of schools, just to name a few, going in the direction of forming arts club. And I'm wondering, we're forming these clubs, but for what? And we ought to be serious and be open and honest about what we want for the children. Sometimes the children need it. Hence the reason why Jekyll can tell you that we have had a few children, young persons come forward to say they want to be a part of the production independently, when we want to work collectively as well with schools to provide training for them. So to answer your question, yes, and of course I would have explained as
Okay.
If I may chime in there, because I think I might have a bit more leeway as an independent artist. Sean might be bound by his official hat of politics. I never said. Anyway, coming for another time. Because he would put my soapbox there, and I would get into the dissecting of what
yes.
in politics and what isn't.
Yes,
But
yes.
I believe wholeheartedly is that once we live within a democracy, everything is politics. So I like to break that down and say we can talk politics. However, I just don't like to get involved in partisan politics, and I think that's a completely
That is
different.
where we're going to go around.
But in terms of my contribution to that question, as an independent artist and having discussed where I started, I would plan out this, I would say within St. Vincent, and I noticed Roleza mentioned Trinidad, Jamaica. I've been privileged to study in Jamaica. I did my bachelor's in Jamaica, and up until last year, I was doing my master's in Barbados. So I've been around creative spaces outside of St. Vincent, within the Caribbean, and I have other colleagues and friends from other Caribbean countries. So I would say relatively, however, the idea of the cultural industries or the creative industries or the cultural and creative industries is fairly new. And what that idea or that notion is we are mixing two things that were never really mixed before, like oil and water, creativity and industry. Art and culture and everything was seen to be done as art for art's sake. There was always never ever a mention about industry and work and commerce and money. So the part of that, we see particularly, and I'm talking in the case of St. Vincent now, because this is where I live, this is my country, I'm a citizen of here. I would say that the idea that thought and creativity is woke still remains a hard sell to the Vincentian people. And my focus, because I have an interest in policy, is I would start at the head of policymakers, come right down to even industry practitioners. This idea that what we do is woke still remains to people. I have even myself, I've had to decolonize myself since I've been back from postgrad studies, where I had this thing where I would say I'm unemployed. And I stopped because I am employed. It's just what that I am doing. People do not necessarily see what I'm doing as work. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants assistance here, assistance there. But when we factor in the time and the money and the resources that I have invested to the things that I do, we have to now start to condition our mind to seeing that. So it's how do we legitimize culture and creativity within our formal economy? And there for me is where we have the problem. So because people don't necessarily see it that way, the field in its different capacities has sort of dwindled, at least from where I entered from. And in conversations with elders like Daki and other mentors within the area, I'm even told that when I entered, that was when things were slipping slipping away. This year we have made space, which Sean will get to in relation to the repertoire of NAM, the New Arts movement that had to walk so that we as contemporary artists within the theater could run. And when I read NAM's magazines, I see that NAM, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Because a lot of the issues that were pressing within their magazine, I feel like we're right here. We're right here again. We used to go back there, I said no, and broadly because we have not stopped to legitimize culture and the arts and look at the viability of our cultural offerings. And I like to look at them as cultural assets. You know, culture is our inheritance within St. Vincent and much of the Caribbean. We don't necessarily have a lot of material, some of us more than others, material goals, for lack of a better word. But what we have is our cultural expressions, the artistic things that as a people we have developed over time, you know, and that is where it came. Just to jump the gun a bit, that's how we came up with the tagline of "Are we a people too?" You know, how do we use the festival and use the arts to help us to understand that the Vincentian civilization has contributed a lot, you know, to the broad Caribbean cultural landscape and even the world by storm. You know, so how do we recognize those problems within the society? The broadest one being the fact that culture and the arts and creativity has not been legitimized. But how do we then stand in the gap nonetheless? Because I mean, as artists and creators, we are first and foremost creatives. We pivot. We find ways to we find novel ways to find solutions to our problems. So broadly, a lot of these issues stem from the broad general fact that we have yet to accept that the process involved in creating, the process involving cultural work is economic. You know, so and then now particularly in the era of heightened technological advances and things like TikTok that I call the globalization of the art, where there's now new jobs and new occupations such as content creators and digital this and digital that, where particularly the younger generation are now creating things and they now feel as though they do not necessarily have to pay attention to the traditional things. But my statement there is that as contemporaries and youngsters in our creating, in our moving forward, in our running with our bright eyed and bushy tail self, that must be grounded somewhere. You know, that must be grounded somewhere, that must be coming from something. You know, and I always make the comparison to Jamaica. And I would say this, living in Jamaica for that time while studying, if you don't know yourself, you would question yourself because of the strongness of the understanding as Jamaicans. They could tell you who the Miss Lou is. They could tell you who the Rex Netterford is. They could speak to you about Mento and Skia and Kumina and Poco. But in my Vincentian reality, even as let's use Peace More, there is a bust there of Ellsworth McGregor Shaky. affectionately known as Cain. And there's an experiment that I keep doing every time I'm in a space with younger persons, even older persons, and we enter place, and I would ask, who's that?
I actually didn't even know that was who it was. So, okay.
And
Mm.
nobody would know. So little nuances like that, stems down from the broader problem of not legitimizing and understanding that there is value, both intrinsic and more economic as well, to culture and the arts.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
So we're going to have to take a short ad break right here. And then when we come back now, we will dive into the festival, talk about the festival lineup, the featured presentation, etc. Right. So we will be right back.
Ready, set, surf. Singer, your favorite family store is now online. Log on today at www.singersvg.com and enjoy our store and products right at your fingertips. Now online are your trusted brands that you have come to love. Refrigerators to chest freezers, gas cookers to toasters, air fryers, mattresses, living room sets, and so much more. Browse our products, check the specs, compare brands and prices, and request parts all online. We have also made bill payments easier, more convenient, and simpler just for you. Log on to www.singersvg.com to learn more. Singer, your family company is keeping up with you and the times. Visit our website today and experience a whole new world of Singer, your trusted online family company.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack, Interbrine Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Hi, Candy at Quartz Optical, where you not only look stylish, but save on top designer brands like Armani, Ray-Ban, Kate Spade, and more. Get up to 35% off frame and lenses on credit and 20% off frames and lenses on cash purchases. Don't miss these sweet deals. Wear it now, pay us later. Up to 18 months plans available. Book your appointment online today at quartzoptical.com. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Offer ends October 24th, 2024. Conditions apply.
Listen all day, every day on your favorite streaming platform. The clean, fresh sound. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right. So excuse me, we are back with our activated mornings with Roleza and Dianna. And at the moment, we are conducting an interview about the National Performing Arts Festival 2024 with the festival coordinator, Mr. Sean Frederick, and the director of the featured presentation, a play called Dance Bongo, the director of that play, Mr. Jekyll Mad. So I see that. All right. So, Sean.
Yes, 799.
All right. That's what I give him a minute. So, Jekyll, Ted, can you give us a rundown of the activities for the festival?
All right. Sean, are you back with us?
I'm not sure what's wrong with Dianna.
No, I saw that you were speaking, and so I wanted to give you a minute.
I was, because someone called the office to get in touch with yourself and Rosella.
Oh,
So I was providing the number so they can reach you guys. I'm not sure for what purpose in
okay.
relation to this interview.
All right.
thank you very much,
Forgive it, my
Sean.
love.
We appreciate that assistance.
See, I was giving you the time, okay?
Yes, the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines National Performing Arts Festival 2024 In a nutshell, the festival got underway with an official launch at the CDC conference room on the 18th, October 18th. You saw their presentation by myself, by Jekyll, by Daki, who is the director for one of our traditional forms in the festival, one of the activities, mock hanging, the marketing and communications executive or manager, Patricia John, and also some words from the Honorable Minister Carlos James. That out of the way, we went straight into our 6-point development workshop at the Peace Memorial Hall with Ezra Ford and Lafayette Johnson, covering technical theatre and, of course, stage management. Before I go into the festival's roster, tomorrow, we are going to Peacemore to hang out, to support, to share with our Vincentian cultural icon, David Aki Williams. You know, a lot of people it probably haven't hit home as yet. The knowledge and insights and the richness of the contribution of David Aki Williams. And probably I might use this forum to say he ought to be named cultural ambassador or well, I know there's no criteria.
Well, it's about time. I mean, it's about time. It's
Yeah,
quite
but some people might say I'm not in my place to say that, but that's how I feel.
But
And
you
this
have
is
an
something
opinion.
I've
That's fine.
advocated for
No,
many,
late.
many
I do
years.
agree
I
with
would
you.
like to speak to the person who advises the cabinet or prime minister to say to them, I don't know who else you have on your list, but top of that list should be David Darky Williams, selfless community stalwart and icon, not just in theatre, in pan, and just being a
Yeah.
peace move for a support for anybody, going to schools, going to community, using his own money, giving up his own time for donkey years.
And
I
I
like
get
am
your
who I
point,
am
Akin.
today.
I
Who
get
I
your
am today because of David Darky Williams. I walked off of the block in Edinburgh and I walked into Peacemore and I never turned back because I felt safe. And he provided that safe space for me. I probably would have been dead like some of my friends. Don't want to change the mood of the thing, but I'm saying he saved me through the arts. And
But
I would like
and that needs to be said, Sean. I know that you're not wanting to change it, but this is exactly what we're talking about of there being other avenues for young persons to engage in activities so that they do not go down the wrong road. So in a sense, he has become your mentor, maybe like even a second parent to you in terms of guiding you through to the correct direction in life. And he should be commended. I've known David, and I keep making reference to me being around for decades, right? But I've known David for the amount of decades that I've been on Earth, being involved in performing festivals. So that's to tell you the longevity of how long he has been in this business, and I'm totally in agreement with what you said. Totally.
Yes. So tomorrow from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we are at the Peace Memorial Hall with a master class with Daki, covering various elements like voice, movement, characterization, acting, understanding dialogue, etc. So and everyone is invited to come to that space and share and be engaged and help to build their craft. Right after that, we're going straight into uh, the presentation with groundings with our elders, and I must say here before I go straight into anything, these ideas in terms of the direction of the festival came from JKL. JKL will come every year and say, Sean, I would like to make my contribution, and these are the ideas I have. Sometimes, whether they're similar to what
Jacob,
we're
look your
thinking,
clap.
When he does, Jaquel does this. So let's
Oh,
do this.
come on, man. I shame.
sometimes they say great minds think alike, but you have to give credit where it is true because
Yes.
sometimes you're there, you're seeing things through from an angle, and somebody else come and just clean it up for you, and I say, yeah, okay, wow, this is what we're looking for, but we just couldn't find it. So you can walk
but
into
at
the
the same
Yeah.
at the same
and do it.
time, Sean, I have to also give you your prop because and excuse me, we're having a little
You see how you are, you can
soul
be
change
modest.
moment. It's a
You don't
drama.
do
It's a
that.
Power
You
drama
sharing this
don't do
thing.
one.
that.
That's
It's not
power
your
sharing.
turn. Here, let me say, by the way, you don't do that. Take flowers and dance your merengue. What?
That's the bongo.
We can just grab Darky in this space, and Nisha is not with us this year. She's taking a short break. We can grab Nisha and Jack. I could tell you we have expanded. We've brought in creatives like Cannelly Booty, who's just back fresh from Jamaica. Sean Roach, who's a police officer but have been in the arts for a very, very long time. Other young creatives like Tia Seals and others, Timron Williams, who are hungry to get their ideas out there. And we have put pen to paper, put our minds and our work on the table to come up with these amazing presentations for the Vincentian public. It's for you, it's not for us. It is for you, and without your support, it's no festival. So we have made connections with the new artist movement who have over 50 years of experience. They have several catalogs of their work. Persons can go to the archives or documentation center and see what they have done in terms of their poetry and their monologues and their skits and their short stories. And there are some names, when you see them, you say like, they were in theater. Yes. So the idea going forward is for us to look at organizations like those, right, and put them on display. So next year, for example, it might be a high road theater, or we might try to pull back as much as we can from Waves Theater, or if you know. Right? So we are looking at groundings with our elders, is making that connections. A lot of young persons don't know who these persons are. Please, I have written so many publications. A lot of these persons have written and published, their work, and we haven't gone to the bookstores or we haven't supported that, but we can come to peace and experience that and immerse ourselves in that. This presentation in particular, Rosella, we are going to send invitations to the schools to have their students come and see these presentations. We want to work with the Ministry of Transport or to have the school buses assist with the transportation aspect of that, so that the children, we hope the parents will give permission to that, so the children can be a part of this legacy. We move right after that as a shake it up a bit with a discussion like we're having now. And this seems to be the panel that we're going to have on 16 decades. We're going to have a discussion on the state of culture and the art in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're currently in conversation with the UWI Global Campus here in Kingston, this site in Kingston, to do a collaboration with them on that particular subject. We're looking at various panelists to lead that discussion. We're also hoping to link up with other entities, and it's an invitation to WEFM to be a part of this as well. After that, we are going to put on showcase one of our Vincential cultural form. It has been something we've been trying to get done for the last 3 years. In fact, we've had rehearsals and casting calls for this set presentation before, but nothing happens before time. And mock hanging will be on the weekend of the 23rd at the Peaceful Space. You heard Daki at the launch. If you didn't hear him at the launch, what he said is that certain aspects of the presentation will be done at Peaceful, but we're looking to do the presentation on the Richmond Hill field, not obviously on the center of the field. There's a space there where there's some steps and there's a huge tree. We want to transform that space. Suppose it's going to be outdoor. Hopefully the weather holds, right? And so that presentation of mock hanging, again, we're hoping to have a lot of young people involved in that. We've already had some interest shown from the students at the community college, and we are in conversation with the nurses who wants to get on board as well. They are not able this year to do any of their presentations because of time, and also because we have also reshaped the festival. So we're looking to do that collaboration with them. And finally, Dance Bongo. No, Dance Bongo have been done in St. Vincent before. And
what is it though? I honestly thought that was the name of the group or something, but what is it?
It's a play.
Let's tell it just now.
Okay.
Right after that, Jake, I will go a little bit in depth into that. But what Dance Bongo the play It's a feature play or presentation that will be done in the festival. It would also be used as a presentation for the students who are doing their CSEC theatre arts to assess as their SPA. They usually come every year and they will choose a play. But in this case, we're doing one play, and we've already have a number of teachers reach out to say this is the amount of students that will come to make provisions for that, as well as it's open to the general public. Of course, at a cost. In the entire festival, we're hoping to get persons back into the space. We usually do streaming and things in the diaspora. We're kind of simmering a bit on that this year. We want people to come and be a part of that theatre experience. You, the audience, a part of that theatre experience. You, the audience, at the Mochanning, to be the jury members. Come there and see the trial unfold.
Right.
And
So
have
I,
them safe.
right. So I actually want you to explain what the mock hanging is, because in my head I was just thinking you're going to pretend to hang somebody. But tell us exactly what the
No,
mock hanging is all about.
it's definitely not a pretense. It's a tradition that was done back in the day, in the earlier time. There's a publication by Edgar Adams. God bless his soul. Back in the day, they would have done mock hanging in communities as a deterrence for crimes of incest and the men having sex with animals and these sort of stuff, immoral stuff that happened in the society back then, sort of to embarrass the person and basically send a signal to other persons that if you attempt this, we would embarrass you. And I think coming out of this our African tradition, not tradition, our African experience, where our own people was hanged, and that had such grave impact. Oh, sorry, we usually have these big trucks um, coming through. It's grave impact on when somebody sees someone is being hanged, they dare not do that act or attempt to do that act, or even think of it in their sleep. So as Zaki said, it's not necessarily deterrent for the person who did the act, but most of the person who's thinking of doing the act. So they do these. They build the gallows and create these effigies of the person. Some people put the face of the perpetrator on thing, and it was done here in the community where you'd hang it for days, sometimes weeks, as a promotion leading up to the actual trial. And their actual persons will come forward like a court in a court setting to give their testimony, to be witness, and so on. And there's a judge and there's a jury to say, look, this person is found guilty and we're going to hang them. And so that process, one of our cultural traditions, is going to be unfolded on the 23rd in the festival. All right, and the festival is under the theme Envision the Art of Creating. It's our amazing tagline. Are we a people too? And you have to say that there, like you cannot coming up proper, say no.
So we are. So I can say we are people too.
No, our people.
We are people who we are essential people too. We understand. We claim we space. We're saying that we've intention. We have an identity, and yes, we can compete and stand among anybody, anywhere, globally, because we are people too. You understand? So the festival starts on the 10th and finishes on the 30th. We are honoring two Vincentian stalwarts, two amazing persons. One of them I wanted to remain a secret, but I haven't mentioned it now because you guys are special. Lincoln Samuel, everybody know him as Stan.
Oh my gosh.
What's
That's
his name?
Every time I go to this, but I watch him and I see him.
Everybody knows 16 Tad is going to be honored by the National Performing Arts Festivals.
Lovely.
And also Miss Cheryl Johnson, who currently resides in Beckley, Pacific Tree, mother of Lafayette Johnson.
Amazing.
Corrected. Those persons will receive Lifetime Achievements Award from our festival this year. So that will bring the curtains down on the 30th. You, the general public, need to come out and support. That's it.
Jake Elmaz. Thank you, Mr. Frederick. Jake Elmaz, what is dance book?
See that post bongo. See that pose,
bongo.
see that pose.
Bongo.
Okay, so hold on, right? Because I feel left out and I kind of lost. So is this something that is like a standard that everybody involved in theater arts would know? Is
Oh
it?
no. This is in the production itself. Yeah.
All right. Coach, it's
Yeah.
I
I
did.
did not see you coming in.
Ensure that our ministry hosts
I'm not hearing you. All of a sudden, your audio gone. Where you do? You put your hand over the mic? Where you do?
Okay, talk again. It seems like it's dropped. Your volume has dropped a
Yeah.
bit.
All right, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but put it up.
All right, good. Right, I was saying Dianna
Grab
and
the mic, come on.
Put
It's
the mic
still
on
some
their mouth,
far
yeah.
away.
Just hold it.
hearing me now?
Still somewhere though, but
And
I
it's
don't
on
know.
my phone, but
But
just
let me go with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, are you hearing me now?
Same, but we just have to go forward with it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So I was gonna say, Dianna, that by rules and Roleza is there so that she's not able to acquaint us with these things. But that there's anybody dead out here today? Anybody dead or dying? Nobody dead since Samuel passed and leave the world is dying. Hey, what a day when you something like in that revelation. Crank collapse and kill him. Watch that thing shape my soul foundation, you hear? To think that one self is knowing you wanna come smiling, come to bed in the evening. And poor little Susan. How she cry when they dropping in the hole. He had promised to bring her back a toy. So sudden, when the wall turn upside down when the young one the old remain. But the hands of God and everything. Gosh, Tina, oh, parents still considering the boy the propagate for me. The promise of the joy, now gone for good. That is another excerpt from Dance Bongo. So Dance Bongo as a play was written in 1960s there. In the 1970s. But Dance Bongo is written by him, who is considered arts as family Caribbean theater. And Dance Bongo as a piece of drama is a fantasy in one act. So it is a fantasy because Errol Hill says that nothing that happens in this story. What I was able to catch there, that even at the state that the young boy grew up, the fictional space of Tina, the characters amazing and Tina as no fictional, I knew them. You know, I knew that village. So that is set in a fictional village called Tina. Right? The play is about mystery and discovery. And it includes significance of a ritual dance. That ritual dance we the bongo. Right? And that bongo dance form as practiced in Trinidad is free conversation with Blackie. Blackie has had essential context of took place in sort of a different form than it is practiced in Trinidad. But for the purpose of the show and the purpose of the play, forms part of weeks, and of course we know what weeks are a practice of supporting family and see that a lot of our when we do a lot of things together. Right? So ultimately we see that action observe this second conflict. A stranger is this ritualistic bongo dancer entered the village one evening, led by this vision that he only dances for the dead. On the flip side, there is also this young, strong bongo dancer, Jeremy, who didn't see the process most pleased. And then we see old Sarah, ably played by Mr. Purcell, for conviction that Jeremy was the one who killed her brother. Still surrounding that concept.
Okay, Jaquel, we actually having a little bit of a difficulty hearing you. Um, yeah, we're not hearing you as clearly as we were hearing you before. So I think the essence of what you're saying is
it's
being
getting.
lost, right? The other thing too is that we do need to bring this interview to an end. What it
Yes.
is that I can suggest though is for Jaquel's piece in terms of explaining what dance bongo is, he can probably call in at 9:20, right? Just so that we'd have an understanding of what the play is all about, so that persons could come out and see it. All right, but we could probably just wrap up this part of the interview, and then Jaquel could call in at 9:20.
Yes.
Dianna?
Yeah. Okay then. So Sean, what closing remarks would you like to leave us with as it
Um,
relates to?
Okay, so
we
Jaquel
are
missed
of
that.
intention.
One second, Jaquel. Okay, so what we're suggesting, because we need to wrap up this part of the interview, what we're suggesting is that at 9:20 you can call us and explain what dance bongo is, so that persons would have a true appreciation of what
No
it is.
problem. No
Right?
problem. No
But if
problem.
you're
I
strong
just
now,
say
yeah, yeah, but we all, yeah, but we will send you the link for 9:20 and then we will continue there. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
All right. So Sean, you were saying,
Yes. Well, first of all, I would like to thank WFM. Thank you, you girls, you lads, for um your your interests, your willingness to help to promote the culture. I listen to you every morning, mind you. I listen to the discussion. Sometimes I want to call in, and you know me already. But for this particular subject matter, I'm very pleased that we're given the space to have this conversation. And I know that the door is always wide open. I want to thank the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to thank them a lot. It is no joke. The bank has stepped up, and I know that for the years to come, the bank definitely will improve as well. To persons like JKL, Daki, the rest of the executive team, the young persons who came forward to be a part of the production, the other supporting uh, persons like through the Department of Culture who are helping me with all of the administrative stuff and logistics and so on. Um, to you, the general public, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let us come out and support our young people. You know, when something happens in the country, for example, crime or something, you know, we put it up on social media and ask what this country is coming to. And sometimes we forget the role that we play as a community. And sometimes, you know, where we are lacking. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just saying sometimes young people need to see us. They need to hear us. There was a calypso a few years ago. Uh, they are what they see. I think it's by Fire Empress. Young people are what they see. They emulate everything in society. They emulate the smoking and the drinking and the drugs and these type of things. Not everybody do. Sometimes they need us to come and give them that extra push and support and tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, you're doing something positive, man. Pick up yourself. We need you to be a part of this process. We need you to come out and support. So tickets are available for sale, $30 and $50 respectively. $50 for Dance Bongo and the other presentations, $30. And even there, we're meeting you, you know, where we think you can afford. It's not because we ain't hit the 70 and 100. And everybody else who have been, you know, supporting the young persons and ensuring that this entire process is successful. Thank you very much.
All right.
Right. And
All right. So yeah. So we conclude the interview at this time. And Jaquel, we will see you back in a few minutes. All right.
Yes, please.
All right. So
bye, Sean. Thank you very much for being
Bye,
with
no
us.
problem.
Thanks later. We are headed straight into our bank reads.